Thank you. Before I recognize Ms. Titus, I'd just like to thank the Chairman Schuster and Ranking Member DeFazio, as well as Chairman Lobiondo, for their work on this bill. And I know Mr. Lobiondo is leaving Congress at the end of this year, and we may get a better Democrat or a better Republican in that seat, but we will not get a better representative for this Congress in that seat than Frank Lobiondo. I'd like to yield a minute and a half to the gentlewoman from Nevada.
Gentlelady is recognized.
Well, thank you very much for yielding. I come to the floor as a co-sponsor of H.R. 4. It's legislation that's long overdue in addressing the immediate and long-term needs of the FAA and our aviation industry. It includes a number of priorities that I fought for, which are critical to my state of Nevada. First, the legislation extends the authorization of the Nevada UAS test range to ensure completion of its critical work in coordination with the FAA and NASA on low-altitude air traffic management systems, commonly referred to as UTM. It also includes my amendment with Congressman Webster from Florida to ensure that the nation's largest airports, including McCarran and Las Vegas, participate in a streamlined approval process for passenger facility charge projects so we can modernize our crumbling airport infrastructure. In addition, it includes, as you have heard, a number of critical provisions that enhance safety, protect consumers, and keep our aerospace industry #1 in the world. As the new ranking member of the Economic Development, Public Buildings, and Emergency Management Subcommittee, I'm also pleased that the language of the Disaster Recovery and Reform Act are included in this bill. Last year's back-to-back-to-back massive hurricanes followed by mudslides and devastating wildfires demonstrate the growing challenges we face as we continue to grapple with global climate change. Lives were lost, individuals and animals were injured, and property damages were just outstanding. Many are still trying to get their lives back to normal. So it would be irresponsible and unacceptable for us to follow the Flat Earth Society's notion that this doesn't really exist. It indeed is a threat to our health and safety. The Act takes concrete steps towards making our communities safer. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. For every $1 you spend on pre-mitigation, you save $6 in future disaster costs. The DRRA addresses this by providing stable funding for the Emergency Management Pre-Disaster Mitigation Program and also additional funding for wildfire suppression. In addition, it requires that communities build back to the latest model building codes. Since the federal government is paying for a minimum of 75% of major disaster costs, it's necessary for us to protect our investment by requiring stronger, smarter, and more resilient rebuilding. So, Mr. Speaker, I hope that the bill moves forward without any poison pills because we need this legislation. It's a good bill, and I support it and yield back.
The gentlewoman yields back. The gentleman from Pennsylvania is recognized.